She was a fairy.
Hello my lovelies, and right off the bat, if you didn't understand the reference at the beginning, I apologise for how unhinged that must have been. As I said in my Q&A, I'm hoping to do other videos in between my Golden Bone project, and this is one of them. Today we're going to be doing a quick video as I draw Tinkerbell from Peter Pan and Wendy by J.M. Barrie, or rather, I draw my original take on her. If you've only ever seen the Disney adaptation or one of the more modern live-action movies, you'd be forgiven for not knowing just how unhinged yet wonderful the original book is. The book is actually a great allegory for childhood development, things Barrie picked up on long before a lot of it was scientifically categorised. Peter is fun, but far too impermanent. He lives moment to moment, meaning he is unbridled by grief, but also unable to forge lasting relationships. It becomes apparent in the epilogue that despite Peter visiting the Darlings a year later, he is very much that kid you met in the playground. You know, the one who insists you're best friends forever but then instantly doesn't keep in touch or care the second you're not immediately in their field of vision. And why is that so apparent? Because in the year after the events of Peter Pan and Wendy, in the epilogue, Tinkerbell is dead and Peter could not give less of a crap. It turns out fairies do not live for very long, and Peter has already forgotten about her. That's right, this entire rant was just to justify my weird gothic interpretation of Tinkerbell here, complete with insect-like proportions to really capture how inhuman she is, but also how fleeting her lifespan is. As you can see, I did a great deal of experimentation with her head, hair, and other attributes. I initially went a little too bug-like for my taste and dialed things back a little, trying to find that happy medium between someone who is human enough and personable, but also alien. I ended up deciding on a mushroom hat, one, because I just liked how it looked, and two, because I thought it would be fun to reimagine her pixie dust as something more organic, like spores or pollen. With my colour scheme here, I decided to pay homage to arguably one of the most famous interpretations of Tinkerbell, the Disney one. I thought it would be a nice nod, and it helped me decide on a colour scheme which I'm infamously terrible at sometimes. I'll be honest though, I don't know why I put so much pressure on myself. Fairies could arguably be any colour or physical form and it could probably work. Fairies in folklore, particularly pixies or brownies, can be very mischievous. They're attributed with nibbling from larders and stealing food, and some children, hence why I gave Tinkerbell here a cheeky full belly. Fairy folk can also be very deadly, and I hoped to give Tinkerbell an impish cat-like demeanour where you can never quite guess what she's thinking. Peter Pan has always been rather melancholic to me, with the eventual lesson seeming to be that never growing up is an awful waste. While it can be scary, we learn and grow only by pushing forwards in all aspects of life, and changing as we go, and I try to take that to heart when I create art. For now, Tinkerbell is here with us on the screen, and Peter Pan remains arguably trapped in Neverland. To quote the end of the book, "It has something to do with the riddle of his being. If he could get the hang of the thing, his cry might become, 'To live would be an awfully big adventure.'" And there she is! What do you think? What would you have done differently? How have you always imagined fairy creatures? Do let me know in the comments section below. Hopefully, if all goes well, my next video will be exploring one of the cultures from Gold and Bone, but obviously no promises, you know how life happens or inspiration might strike, and I'm gonna just try and go with the flow on all of my projects. As a bit of an update, I should hopefully be launching a Patreon and with it an exclusive Discord in January, so a little after this goes up and online, or potentially right now depending on when I publish this. It should hopefully be a really fun creative space. We'll be looking at doing competitions, producer credits on the videos, all the good stuff, but obviously watch this space. And obviously leave a like or comment if you have the time. And speaking of time, I will speak with all of you next time.